Hello everyone, I'm Michaela O'Connor, and today we will be talking about the Code of Ethics in the education system. We will be highlighting two specific cases that happened recently. One having to do with a student's beliefs on dissection, and the other on a teacher who singled out a particular group of students that came across as discrimination. Before we get into more detail about each case, we want to explain what the Code of Ethics is. Essential to these goals is the protection of freedom to learn and to teach and the guarantee of equal education opportunity for all. The Code of Ethics of the education profession indicates the aspiration of all educators and provides standards by which to judge conduct. Let's dive in and get a closer look at our first case.
What is this?
It's frog dissection day.
No, I opted out.
It's a mandatory.
My parents signed a waiver. Come back, get these frogs away from me. Now this is Sarah Wingo, a 13-year-old self-described animal rights activist who received parent permission to opt out of her frog dissection. What is this?
It's frog dissection day.
No, I opted out.
It's a mandatory.
My parents signed a waiver. Come back, get these frogs away from me. Now let's look at the case a bit closer. Educators should be guided by the following ethical principles stated in the Florida Code of Ethics. The educator's primary professional concern will always be for the student and for the development of the student's potential. The educator will therefore strive for professional growth and will seek to exercise the best professional judgment and integrity. Obligation to the student requires that the individual 1. Shall make reasonable effort to protect the student from conditions harmful to learning and or to the student's mental and or physical health and or safety. 2. Shall not unreasonably restrain a student from independent action in pursuit of learning. 3. Shall not unreasonably deny a student access to diverse points of view. 6. Shall not intentionally violate or deny a student's legal rights. In this case, teacher Mary Allen Alexander did not portray her best professional judgment or integrity to her middle school student. The educator knew that the student was against the dissection and had parent permission to do an alternative assignment. She did not protect the student's mental well-being when laughing in her face. Also, she did not respect her diverse point of view as an animal activist.
Along with the Code of Ethics, the teacher in this case violated a Florida state law. State law allows students who object to dissection experiments to be offered an alternative if they get parent permission. Florida law states, non-mammalian vertebrates, excluding birds, may be used in biological experiments, provided that physiological harm does not result from such experiments. Anatomical studies shall only be conducted on models which are anatomically correct for the animals being studied or on non-living, non-mammalian vertebrates secured from a recognized source of such specimens and under the supervision of qualified instructors. Students may be excused from such experiments upon written request of the parent or guardian. Since Sarah's parents had given permission to be excused from the dissection, dumping a bag of frogs on the student's desk violated this law.
As a principal, I would confront the teacher to confirm what happened in this situation. After hearing their side, I would suspend the teacher until they prove that they are ethically fit to be in the classroom. To ensure that the situation does not reoccur, I would monitor all future dissections and require all teachers to receive training on correct sensitivity to students' incorrect behavior in the classroom. That way, all educators in my school would understand and respect diverse perspectives of their students.
Preventive measures that can be taken to ensure that the violations do not occur again at my school would be to make sure that the teachers are aware of the Code of Ethics and the state and district laws in their field.
A teacher in Duval, Florida asked severely intellectually disabled students to act like slaves and navigate obstacles as if they were being chased by dogs. Ray was teaching students the song, "Follow the Drinking Gourd," a song slaves sung while traveling through the Underground Railroad. His intention was to get students up and moving and to have them sing a song related to the civil rights movement. He wanted the students to understand the meaning behind the song and really feel it.
Oh, dear, again, waiting for the
Run! This is what the slaves felt like. Run! Come on! Whoa, stop. As we have already gone over, educators should be guided by the ethical principles stated in the Florida Code of Ethics. The educator values the worth and dignity of every person, the pursuit of truth, devotion to excellence, acquisition of knowledge, and the nurture of democratic citizenship. Essential to the achievement of these standards are the freedom to learn and to teach, and the guarantee of equal opportunity for all. Obligation to the student requires that the individual shall make reasonable effort to protect the student from conditions harmful to learning and or to the student's mental and or physical health and or safety.
Along with the Code of Ethics, the teacher in this case violated 2 Florida state laws. The Americans with Disabilities Act protects persons with disabilities from discrimination in many aspects of life, including employment, education, and access to public accommodations. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act ensures that the rights of students with disabilities are protected and that all children with disabilities have the right to a free, appropriate education. The teacher in this case does not protect the students with disabilities from discrimination. He himself discriminates them. The degrading fashion of his lesson plan does not give these students the appropriate public education that they legally have the right to.
This teacher is obviously unfit to teach. If I were the principal of this school, I would like to sit down with this teacher and ask him why he thought this would be appropriate for the students. To ensure that this situation does not reoccur, I would require all teachers to receive training on correct sensitivity to intellectually disabled students and how to create appropriate lesson plans. That way, all educators at my school will respect all students. To prevent this from happening again at my school, I would like to make sure that the teachers are aware of the Code of Ethics and the state and district laws.
As you can see, these cases are nowhere near ethical, considering both of the cases violate the student's rights and dignity. A student is supposed to feel safe and comfortable when they come to school, and the person with the biggest effect on each student is their teacher. Forcing students to dissect a frog when they do not feel comfortable doing so, or taking a group of disabled children and having them act as slaves is nowhere near safe or comfortable.
These 2 specific cases are an issue because in the first case, Sarah was an animal rights activist who had everything she needed to be able to do the online dissection, and the teacher still tried forcing her to do the real dissection. The teacher did not agree with Sarah's beliefs and tried going against them. In the second case, forcing a group of disabled children to act like slaves violates the worth of a student. No educator should have ever made a student feel like themselves or their opinion were not good enough. I believe that if the administration were heavier on their educators, then maybe these cases would have not happened. These cases are unacceptable, and the Code of Ethics should be taken very seriously throughout the education system. The safety and well-being of our students are in the hands of the educators.